Grading every NFL team's offseason going by division, today we have the NFC North, and we're going to start with the Chicago Bears. They start off with getting two really good free agents in Kobe Bryant and Devin Bush. They also have an unexpected retirement in Drew Dalman, their center, so they have to go out and get Garrett Bradbury, who I don't love as a player, but in this situation was probably the best guy they could have got. They lose a lot, especially on the defense side of the ball, but this defense was a bottom 10 defense last year, so I really don't hate to see any of them go. A lot of them are past their primes anyway. And then in the draft in round 1, they go out and get a new safety in Dylan Thineman, which I really liked that pick. Overall, they did a lot of solid to good. I don't love anything that they did, but I do think they still deserve a B grade. Next, we have the Detroit Lions. They hired Drew Petzing as their offensive coordinator, which I don't love, but Dan Campbell has shown that he can take control of the offense if it's not working. I really love the Cade Mays signing from the Carolina Panthers. Underrated signing, in my opinion. After that, it's just good depth. Nothing wrong with it. They do, however, lose quite a few good pieces. Taylor Decker and Alex Anzalone are the top of the list. But to replace Taylor Decker, they go out and get Blake Miller, the tackle out of Clemson, which I think it was a must-do for them. I also really like the re-signings that they had in Rocky Sin, Malcolm Rodriguez. A lot of really good value here. For being in a cap struggle, I do think they handled it pretty well. I don't really want to give them as high as I gave Chicago, so I'm going to give them a B-, but I do think they did solid given the constraints that they had. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers. Jeff Hafley is gone, which is not their fault. They do a good job of replacing him with Jonathan Gannon. I do like that move. Javon Hargrave is pretty washed at this point, but I do like the trade for Zaire Franklin. After that, there's not much to talk about. They do lose a ton. Rashawn Gary, Elton Jenkins, Nate Hobbs, Quay Walker. I can just read off of this list. There's a lot of pretty important pieces, in my opinion, that are now gone, including a Malik Willis, which is important when Jordan Love misses time every single season. There's not a whole lot to talk about as far as their draft class goes, and when we're talking about the re-signings and their extensions, I can't stand them, to be honest with you. Overall, Green Bay loses a lot, don't bring a lot in, and I think they made some bad moves on the re-signings and extensions. Therefore, I have to give them no higher than a C. And finally, we have the Minnesota Vikings. There's not much to talk about here. No coaching changes, which is an underrated W by Minnesota with all that talk that they're going to lose Brian Flores. Their signings, there's not many of them, but I do think they're good value. James Pierre is an underrated corner from Pittsburgh, and of course, Kyler Murray for the league minimum. Not much better you can do there. They lose a lot of old players. Harrison Smith may or may not be back. Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, all gone, and they trade away Jonathan Grenard for a sack of potatoes. Their draft, I view as risky. First round pick being a big man with a foot injury doesn't tend to work out very well. This is probably the most lackluster division of all these offseason grades. I'm giving them a C+ because I really like the value that they got for these players, but there's just not much to talk about.